In this module, you'll have the opportunity to run your first SQL query with CockroachDB. Get the database ready. Before you run your query, you'll need to get the database ready. CockroachDB has a built-in demonstration database called MovR. The MovR database is meant to represent the underlying data of a toy ride-hailing app. To load the MovR dataset, you'll need your connection string from the Cloud Console. Modify the connection string to include your password, and so that it points to the MovR database. In the terminal, you'll use the workload init MovR command to load the data. When the terminal gives you the opportunity to enter a new command, the data has been loaded. Your first query. Once you've loaded the MovR dataset, connect to your cluster using your connection string and the Cockroach SQL command. Make sure your password and the MovR database are specified. Now you're using the SQL shell. You'll see that the shell shows that you're connected to a Cockroach Cloud cluster and that you're looking in the MovR database. If this says something other than MovR, you can use the use command to switch to the MovR database. Let's run your first query. A select operator means that you're going to be requesting data from the database. The star is a wildcard, which means that it will return all of the columns that it finds. From MovR.vehicles specifies the database and table that the data you're looking for is in. If you do not include the database name, the shell will use the database it is currently pointing to. The semicolon at the end of the line is the end of the request. You'll receive back what was found in the vehicles table. You may want to stretch your terminal out so that you can see the data formatted properly. The columns are labeled with the column name, and the relevant data for each row is listed. Show tables. To see the other tables in the MovR database, you can run a show tables query. You'll see a list of tables in the current database. CockroachDB also does an estimate of the rows in each table. CockroachDB updates the metadata every few minutes, so don't be surprised if these numbers are off if you perform some writes recently. Let's review. The MovR dataset is a sample dataset that we'll be using throughout the course to demonstrate SQL queries. Once you've loaded this data, you can run a select query in the SQL shell to see the rows and columns of a table. The show tables query allows you to see the tables in the current database and an estimate of the rows they contain.